So, have you been seeing anybody recently? And the Aquarian replies, do you mean like ghosts or aliens? Hello, hello, and welcome to your new life. Yes, this is what happens when Jupiter and Saturn come together in a new sign. Not only that, they've come together in a new element, the element of air, for the first time in, well, the last time a series like this started was 800 years ago. And by the time this series was finished, about 200 years later, the Renaissance started. So, quite important, really, and quite transformational for all of us. So, after a year in Capricorn, Jupiter has finally left behind the sign what it is least comfortable in. Capricorn is the sign of restriction, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion. The two don't really go well together. And as the traditional and ruler of the travel industry, especially the long distance travel industry, we've all seen what's happened to that aviation and just general traveling for pleasure. Just we didn't have any of that, or very little, just if you really couldn't help it. But things are about to change now. And we're even talking about things like the Hyperloop, for example, that's coming to our screens very soon, hopefully, which will allow us to travel very long distances very quickly. But also, guys, we're going to Mars. Humans will put down foot on Mars. How crazy is that? But the thing is, actually, with the series we're in now, it is realistic, it is achievable, it is possible. But what I think we're going to notice in the immediate, few months, and especially over the course of the year, is there's going to be a lot of social unrest. There's going to be a lot of anger and dissatisfaction. And I do expect some serious uprisings overall, globally. This is because this incredible pair of planets, Jupiter and Saturn, will be squaring Uranus in Taurus. And it's interesting because Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. And from Taurus, which is again a sign that it is actually not very comfortable in, because it's a sign of tradition. It will be squaring its own sign, and these two different energies in the sign of Aquarius. So this usually historically is correlated with economic problems, economic downturns. I mean, we know that it's happened already, and I don't think we've actually even started to see what this means at a personal level, for the common people. What we have seen is that the big technology companies are doing great. Amazon's growth, I can't remember now how much it is in percentage, but it's been the real winner. Like Amazon and Zoom have been the real winners in all of this in 2020. But rest assured that with Saturn in Aquarius, there's going to be regulation coming in. And so these big tech companies will not be allowed to continue as they are now. And there'll be more power to the individual, especially when it comes to their data, for example, on the internet. Our browsing data, our shopping data, our social media data, all of these things. And also, we are very, very likely to see fragmentation. So Aquarius and the air signs are the opposite. They don't like hierarchy and the condensation of power in the hands of few. So we're going to see more decentralization, more fragmentation, and generally speaking, more focus on on social equality for everybody, for whether you know, depending, you know, regardless of where you come from, what you believe in, what you like, what you dislike, or your, you know, what your sexual preferences are or orientations. There's going to be a lot more equality, or a lot more fight for equality, especially this coming year. Quite a seminal one. Let's talk about Aquarius a little bit. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So it is about ideas. It is a very intellectual sign. It likes to be a little bit different. It likes to go against the grain. And it certainly doesn't like authority much. And it's very innovative. So actually, I do think that we're going to have more conspiracy theories as well, because I think this is the sign for that. But we're going to approach everything with a more logical mind, because that's what this sign stands for. So not all Aquarians are revolutionaries, and you know, not all Aquarians are kind of socialists either. You know, they it all ranges, it all varies. It's based on each person's chart. It depends on which planet is the strongest, whether it's Uranus or whether it's Saturn, which would make it more conventional. But what Aquarius represents strongly is challenging the status quo if it isn't working, especially in terms of equalities and fairness and logic. So it's going to be an interesting year. I think there's going to be a lot of polemic discourse going on. There's going to be a struggle, a financial struggle, because we have Jupiter and Saturn squaring Uranus in Taurus. So it's a proper downturn, it's a proper depression, and it's a serious one. So what does this mean at a personal level? Well, when Jupiter and Saturn come together every 20 years, there's like a birth of new values, new principles, new structures. For example, education as well gets, you know, changes. And at a personal level, it always is about a new long-term vision and what you're going to do to achieve it. So Jupiter is the planet that brings these incredible downloads, and you know, that brings these ideas, these goals, these aspirations. And then Saturn, on the other hand, throws in the reality check with all of these ideas and fantastic things that you'll come up with. So not only the reality check, which will allow you to come up with realistic plans, realistic achievable plans, but also the commitment that's needed. You know, it's about putting the elbow grease in, just putting a plan together and saying, okay, I need to do this. It's going to take me this long. These are the steps that I need to follow to be able to achieve it. This is when I'll know that I achieve it. All of this, it's facilitated by this tremendous conjunction in the air signs. And of course, you know, it's all relative, you know, because every chart is different. So the effects of this conjunction are going to be felt uniquely to you, you know, by you, depending on in which house it falls, depending on what aspects it does to your natal placement, also what aspects it forms with, whether it's solar transits, whether it's progressions, solar arcs. So there's a whole complex view of things that, to be honest with you, only an astrological reading with a professional astrologer can give you. And with me, and I will give you, you know, a lot of information about this, and as well as some reports for the future. Or you can go to my website, sparkastrology.com, chart, and calculate your own chart if you don't have it already. Find out where Aquarius is, and you can start getting an understanding or an inkling of the sphere of life that's going to change dramatically for you in the next 20 years. I hope you've subscribed to my channel. Please do now if you haven't. And also do comment and let me know what you think. Let me know what you expect. Let me know what big plans you have for the future. You know, what is going to change for you? What sphere of life is affected for you? And so do you feel it already? Have you started feeling the change or not? So let me know. I love hearing from you. I love your comments. I love it when you share and like and subscribe. And by all means, do get in touch if you want to know more.